This morning I woke up after doing a whole bunch of good mornings yesterday, and I felt good. I felt like I was more mobile. My hamstrings felt extra long. I felt kind of extra mobile, which is not something that I expected out of doing good mornings. But that's exactly what I got out of it. So I don't know about you guys, but I've kind of worked out that there are certain kind of tests that I can do before even trying to squat that kind of let me know where I'm at with kind of mobility at that given moment. The test that I use is basically the toe reach test. So you stand up, basically, you guys have all kind of seen this. You stand up and you reach down to touch your toes with straight legs. I've been known to have really good flexibility, like put my whole palms on the floor. Now, not so much. Ever since I've started doing the pig squats and whatnot, I feel like that's kind of diminished a whole lot. But yesterday, doing a whole bunch of good mornings, and then this morning, I feel like there's been a sudden improvement. And I think it's because of the good mornings. The good mornings basically stretch you all the way down to where the hamstring can't go no more, and you go back up. There's no lumbar flexion, there's no thoracic flexion because you're maintaining the bar on your back. And that can't be said, the same thing can't be said for the Romanian deadlift, because the Romanian deadlift, the bar is in your hand. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I've got the bar in my hand, I tend to kind of want to reach further down my shin when I'm doing RDLs, and that kind of compromises my upper back. I feel like it's a lot easier to control the upper back with the bar on your back, as in with a good morning. So really, really nice surprise this morning to find that I'm more mobile. Squats today felt really good, and I think I'm going to keep this in. Some really cool chats with you guys in the comments since I posted that video yesterday. A lot of you guys have kind of further scared me with your stories. Some of you guys have said you snapped your spines basically with this exercise. One of you fellas have said that in the span of 15 years, every single time you did the good morning, you ended up being hurt. But I think there's a pattern there, and it's weight. And that's the thing I think about in my head. Is it the exercise, or is it the person doing the exercise that's at fault? It's kind of like that old school debate: is the upright row good or bad? I think it's all about loading, guys. I honestly do. Who can't do an empty barbell good morning? I think most people that have been training for a little bit would realize that an empty barbell good morning is safe. I mean, there's no weight on the bar. You're just basically using it as a stretching device, essentially. It's you're just stretching. It's kind of like the toe reach test, but we just weight on your back, and that weight on the back basically ensures that you're keeping your spine completely straight and neutral. So I feel like this exercise is amazing. I want to continue doing it, but I'm very, very, very aware, scared about loading any sort of weight to it. The reason why I feel like it's really dangerous is because the weight is in front of your center of mass. Like the bar goes way beyond your middle of your foot, and we all know, the people that have been training for a little bit, that when you're squatting, when you're deadlifting, you need that bar basically tracking over the middle of your foot throughout the whole motion of the lift. The moment you kind of have deviation from that midline, you start incorporating your spine more. The leverages start, adding up against you. With this exercise, you're basically putting the bar way forward. And even though you're supposed to kind of lean your hips back, kind of sit back in a way, I still feel like I haven't done yesterday I did a side profile shot to see what's up, but I feel like it's still kind of ahead. But anyway, I love this. I really love the good morning. It's really good. In fact, today, the good morning kind of from yesterday and today made me feel so good that I actually did some front squats today as well. And you guys are going to see this a little bit later on. I did some front squats. That kind of went well. And also after the good mornings, I felt to myself, okay, so if I'm going to do these good mornings all the time, I'm not using any weight here. I need to put some weight on the bar. So I thought, I ain't, silly enough to put weight on the bar for the good morning, but I do need some tension through the posterior chain. So then I decided to do some deadlifting. I ended up doing 3 sets of deadlifts. I made big jumps. I went from like 70 kilos to 120 to 170 sets of 5. I just really wanted that tension through the back. And because of the good mornings and because of the super lengthy feeling that I have after good mornings, deadlifts felt really, really good. Like they really felt really good. So I think that's a really nice combo. Some of you guys said to me, why don't you do, good mornings with RDLs? That could also be a good mix as well. Something that's a bit more safer to load. Something that kind of tracks over the middle of your foot is probably safer. But to do good mornings and load them, I don't know, man. That's, to me, it's a bit scary. So the deadlift felt good. I thought about doing hook grip, but I went, nah, I'll just put some straps on and focus on the posterior chain, and I'll worry about the hook grip for the moment. Surprisingly, my hook grip has not deteriorated that much after that long, layoff of deadlifting. It felt really good. But anyway, I think when you're doing reps, your hook grips gets absolutely cheese grated with multiple reps. I mean, some of you guys might be better than me with the hook grip, but for me, I don't think it's worth it doing reps with the hook grip, unless you're taping up your thumbs. If you're taping up your thumbs, that's a different ballgame altogether. But anyway, so this felt really, really good. My spine felt so long, my hamstring felt so long because of the good mornings, and this was just a beautiful feeling to kind of move through and feel super long in the posterior chain. So this is 170. I felt this is quite heavy. But anyway, I'm quite happy with the positioning here. I did watch this video after I did it. Some of you guys have said to me to look up. I feel like when I look up, I've said this on a number of occasions, my lower back tends to kind of arch too much. And arching of the lower back is basically as bad as it is when you're flexing the lower back. The lower back has to be neutral. If it goes either way, you're pushing those discs in between the vertebra to basically pinch one way or the other, depending where, if you're doing an anterior pelvic tilt or posterior pelvic tilt. You can't be doing that because you're putting uneven pressure on the discs, and that makes it really, really kind of structurally weak. And so what I'm doing here, you can see, is that these are tempo squats. Now, why would you want to be doing tempo squats? Well, last night I watched a video with Bradley Martin and Dmitry Klokov. Now, some of you guys know that I admire Dmitry Klokov, the way he looks, the way he moves, how he is. I mean, he's one of my idols, for quite some time that I've kind of looked up to. And in yesterday's video, he talked about doing tempo squats and the benefits of tempo squats. He says that the eccentric portion of the squat gets overlooked, and a lot of people kind of bounce in the hole and bounce out of it. But most of the benefits of the squat is on the way down. Slow that thing down, focus on loading the quads, focus on spending some good time under tension in the eccentric portion, and you will bounce out of the hole even better without just dropping into the hole. So that's what I did today. I loaded it up quite heavy today. The trick I found with this is that when do you breathe? So Klokov, he goes, do your tempo squats, pause in the hole, and then go up. That's a long time without oxygen. So for some of these, I think I was letting the oxygen out and then taking another breath in, as I've done here. But as the weight got heavy, I was kind of frightened to let the air out, because then, you guys know, if you let the air out, you let a lot of the tension through your core out. And after doing all those good mornings, my core was kind of already kind of fried, so I was kind of a bit scared to do that. Let me see how this 140 went. Did I let air out here or not? Can't remember actually now. Nice and slow. Yeah, I'll let the air out. But yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird how the bar goes quickly in the concentric, but even though the eccentric was really slow and whatever. So 160 here, I had the same thing. I said to my cameraman with this rep, I think it was this one, I felt my damn head was going to blow up. That's what I felt like. Because I held the same breath at the top. I held it all the way down in the tempo squat, all the way slowly down. Held it in the hole for a pause, and then went back up. And that was a whole lot of time under tension. I felt my head was going to blow up. I felt my veins in my neck pop out like crazy. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but there was a whole lot of intracranial pressure happening here. I had to let some air out, otherwise my head was going to come off. So that was 160, and then 180.
Let the breath out there.
180 was a wrestling match. Really was a wrestling match. This thing.
Let me get the air that I need.
Man, I've seen Klokov do. Well, what did he do? 200 and I think 20 or 240 kilos pause ATG tempo squat. Man, what a machine that guy is, man. What an animal, man. I mean, that guy is a perfect example of what I want to look like when I squat. So he's 180. Considering all things, I think that looks better than I felt. And then I hit the rack. Oh, that's funny. And so the next thing I did was front squats. Now, I mentioned that these good mornings have been making me feel really mobile. And all of you guys have said, what do you have against the front squats? Nothing, man. I used to do them back last year. I think it was something like November or October. I did them for a whole lot. I basically did both back and front squat in the same session. Then my left shoulder started hurting. Or was it the right shoulder? I think it was the right. My right shoulder started hurting from all that external rotation with the front rack positioning. So then I kind of went away from it, let that shoulder heal, because, you know, shoulder pain and bench pressing don't mix all that well together. And as we know, bench pressing is not the best thing for your shoulder. So the front squat was killing the shoulder. The bench press was killing the shoulder. So I just gave it all up. But anyway, I was quite happy with, you know, flat shoes. I don't have heeled shoes. I was quite happy with my mobility here. But the thing with front squats, people say it's a quad exercise. Okay, it might be a quad exercise, but for me, it's just a upper back battle. This thing just wants to fold you over every single time. I feel like my legs can push more weight. You know, so 100 moved well, but then when I go to 140, oh my God. I think 120 was next, but basically the weight just wants to fold you over, and that's my limiting factor. It's the core of the upper back. Keeping the whole spine kind of erect is the biggest trouble I have with front squats. It's not because I can't push with my quads. It's never been that. My quads have always kind of been strong. So that kind of moves all right. But what you guys are not seeing on camera is that I'm absolutely in war with my upper back. The bar really wants to fold you over. And also the fact that I haven't had a barbell on top of my collarbone for a while, so that's also very uncomfortable. But here it is. 140 was the top set of today. After probably 3, 4, 5 months of not front squatting, here it is. Just pay attention to how my upper back wants to round. Oh, looks easy on the damn thing. Pisses me off when when these reps look so easy. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you for today. Some front squatting, some deadlifting, some good mornings. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out.